Indonesia and Romania have a strong positive relations that was established in 1950 when Romania acknowledged Indonesia's sovereignty. Now the cooperation covers various fields, from political, economy to educational fields. Now let's learn even more about the relations between Indonesia and Romania from our very special guest of the day, the Romanian ambassador to Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Dan Adrian Balanescu. We learn more about the past, the present, and the future of the relations of Indonesia and Romania.
Romania, located in southeastern European country bordered by Ukraine, Moldova, Bulgaria, Serbia, and Hungary, with a coastline along the Black Sea. It's known for its scenic landscapes, from the Carpathian Mountains to the Danube Delta. Romania has a population of about 19 million, and Bucharest, as the capital and the largest city, is a major financial and industrial hub. Historically influenced by the Roman, Ottoman, and Soviet empires, Romania became a republic after the fall of communism in 1989. Today, Romania actively participates in regional and global affairs, a member of both the European Union and NATO. The country has a growing economy, with key industries in IT, automotive, agriculture, and energy. Romania is rich in culture, a unique blend of Latin, Slavic, Greek, and Ottoman influences, famous for its medieval castles, folklore, and the legend of Dracula. The Romanian language is Latin-based, and Eastern Orthodox Christianity is the main religion. With a mix of tradition and modernity, Romania continues to play an important role in regional and European affairs.
Hello and welcome to Ambassador Corner on TVRI World with me, Siska Becker, and my very special guest for today's edition of Ambassador Corner, the Romanian ambassador to Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Dan Adrian Balanescu. Your Excellency, first of all, thank you so much for this amazing opportunity.
Welcome to our embassy.
Of course, it's our pleasure. Thank you for having us. Your staff have been so gracious in accommodating us, so we're truly grateful for that.
I'm very glad.
Right. The reason we're excited to meet is, of course, we have a very important milestone in the relationship between our countries. Now, as we understand, Indonesia and Romania established relations back in 1950, which means this year, in 2025, we are celebrating 75 years of diplomatic relationship. But let's talk about the present day, Mr. Ambassador. In your eyes, how would you characterize the relationship between Indonesia and Romania now? What are the keys of our mutual understanding and concerns? And also, in which areas do we have the best cooperation?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. I'll just come to the concerns. We have no concerns in our bilateral relations. Our bilateral relations is without any issues. And as you rightly mentioned, we have celebrated 75 years of bilateral diplomatic relations on the 18th of February. When we had a very beautiful photo exhibition together with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Indonesia. It was called Treasures of Romania. But coming back to the present day, indeed we have a very strong cooperation in different fields, in political field, in economic field, cultural, education, and many others. Last year alone we had a meeting of our foreign ministers. They met in Brussels in February. During the EU-ASEAN ministerial meeting, and they touched upon different bilateral and multilateral issues, economic, political, cultural, but also our cooperation in ASEAN and EU. We also have a very strong parliamentary cooperation.
Oh, okay.
Our parliaments have a quite intense dialogue, and only last year we had a friendship group from our parliament coming here in Indonesia in June, and they had a very good discussion with the Romania-Indonesia friendship group in the parliament, but also to the leadership of the House of Representatives and some other interlocutors. And they also touched upon many aspects of our bilateral relations.
All right, that's very encouraging to hear, to know that the bilateral relations between our countries is not just strong, but it's blossoming as well. And more opportunities, of course, we can achieve in the future. Now, Mr. Ambassador, now let's touch upon multilateralism, as you also mentioned a little bit earlier in your opening statement in this program. Now, Indonesia and Romania have worked together and are working together in the framework of international organizations, including United Nations and also the EU-ASEAN Strategic Partnership that you mentioned earlier as well. Now, in your eyes, you know, in the face of rising protectionism, as we see is happening right now as we speak, and also myriad of geopolitical tensions, how do you think Indonesia and Romania can work together within this international framework to ensure that we both can uphold the principles of multilateral cooperations?
Indeed, we have similar principles, and both Romania and Indonesia are very strong supporters of international principles of law. As you rightly mentioned, we are not only cooperating bilaterally, but through our international organizations we are a member of. We are a member of the European Union, Indonesia is a member of ASEAN, and both our countries are cooperating with the other organization. As far as we are concerned, we have a very strong dialogue with ASEAN. I myself am going quite frequently to discuss at the ASEAN Secretariat, but also with the permanent representative of ASEAN countries. The parliamentary delegation I mentioned before, they had a meeting with the Secretary General of ASEAN. They touched upon the bilateral cooperation in political, economic and cultural fields, also education. We are in process of accessing the Treaty on Amity of Cooperation in Southeast Asia in our effort to have a stronger relation with ASEAN. And also we are one of the supporters of strengthening the cooperation between Indonesia and European Union, especially by concluding the negotiations on the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, which will not only facilitate the trade between Indonesia and the European Union, but also between Romania and Indonesia, which is very important. These are not the only international bodies we cooperate, but as you put it, also in the UN. And I can only mention our very good cooperation and dialogue in February, when the United Nations General Assembly adopted the resolution on Ukraine, and which shows our similar principles and the upholding of international law regulations.
All right, now let's talk about another aspect in our relationship, and that is trade relations. Now I understand there's this one aspect of our relationship, which is called the Memorandum of Understanding, the MOU of sister port cities. I find that fascinating. Please elaborate, Mr. Ambassador.
Yes, this is practically one aspect between our in our bilateral cooperation between our ports, Pelindo in Indonesia and the port of Constanța in Romania. Because, as we are saying to our Indonesian partners, Constanța practically reduces the distance for Indonesian traders coming to Europe by 1,000 or 2,000 kilometers. So instead of coming it's significant. Instead of coming to Rotterdam, they can stop in Constanța, and Constanța is a gateway to Central and Eastern Europe. So it's really an opportunity. But coming back to the bilateral economic relations and our bilateral trade, last year we almost touched $200 million, our bilateral trade, which is still under potential, so there is still a long way to go. But currently we are discussing some major transaction in coal import, that is Indonesian coal in Romania, and wheat import, that is Romanian wheat to Indonesia. which probably will strongly increase our bilateral trade. I personally go to different provinces of Indonesia. I was recently in Banten, and I promoted our economy and also got familiarized with the opportunities offered by Banten.
Okay.
So this is one of our constant activities to develop the relation between our economy and the Indonesian economy.
Okay, one more question about the cooperation between our countries. Now, media cooperation is also an emerging aspect of our bilateral relations, such as the collaborations between LKBN Antara and Asia Press. Now, maybe you can tell us, what do you think is the importance of media partnership in fostering mutual understanding and people-to-people connection between our countries?
Yeah, this is very important, and I'm glad now I am here with you to discuss about Romania, about our bilateral cooperation, because indeed you are a facilitator to the Indonesian public. And the same of the cooperation between Antara and our national agency. They have an agreement, a memorandum of understanding with news takeovers from each side. I myself have a very good relation with Indonesian media.
Okay.
I have given a number of interviews for our National Day in December, and I use each opportunity, also during my visits, to speak to the media, to speak about our objectives, to speak about our priorities, and about our cooperation in general, to promote Romania to the Indonesian public, but also because media is both direction.
Yes.
Also to promote Indonesia to the Romanian public, because Bali is well known in Indonesia, but Indonesia is much more than Bali.
Yes.
And Romanian tourists, they are coming to other places too, like to Yogyakarta, they are coming to Lombok, and so many more.
All right. Now, I've seen those videos that you did with other medias before I came here to see you, but none of those videos and interviews made me learn a lot about yourself, actually, about your background, about your experience living here. So we're going to do that in the next segment in this program, Mr. Ambassador. But now we're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere, Ambassador Corner. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Ambassador Corner right here on TVRI World. Still with me, your host, Siska Becker, and my very special guest, the Ambassador of Romania to Indonesia, His Excellency Dan Adrian Balanescu. Mr. Ambassador, as we promised our viewers before, in this segment, we learned so much more about you as a person, as an ambassador, about your aspiration and your experiences living in Indonesia, especially in Jakarta. Now, as we understand, please correct me if I'm wrong in any part of this historical background of you. We learned that you have a degree in international business, a master's degree in international law. You joined the Foreign Affairs Ministry of your country in 1999. And that this is your first ever posting in Asia. Now, first tell us, has a career in diplomacy always been in your mind since you were young, or was it more of a plot twist?
Well, it's difficult to say that career in diplomacy was always on my mind. Practically, when I was a child, I was thinking of becoming a forest engineer.
Really?
Yeah, because I liked forest walks.
Ah, okay.
So in my mind, that was a wonderful career.
All right.
But then, of course, time passed. I graduated high school, and the situation was that I should choose an university.
Okay.
And as you rightly mentioned, I oriented myself towards this international business faculty from the Academy of Economic Studies in Bucharest. And during my studies there, the idea of becoming a diplomat started to come into my mind.
Okay.
First, I thought about becoming a diplomat in international organizations like the UN, and then I thought that maybe it's more practical to think about our foreign ministry for our national diplomacy.
Okay.
So step by step, I continued in my faculty, and at the end, at that time, there was a condition for passing the exam with our foreign ministry, and that condition was to fulfill our military training.
Oh. Okay.
So immediately after the university,
Yeah.
unlike my colleagues who are trying to escape the military service, I looked for it because I had the purpose of passing the exam. So I finalized.
It was compulsory for you.
It was compulsory before joining the ministry.
Okay.
So actually I enrolled myself. I finished my military service. It was only 6 months.
Okay.
Not long.
All right.
And then I passed the exam into the foreign ministry. And that's how I started my diplomatic career.
Okay.
And for the first 3 years, I activated in the OSCE department, which was important at that time for Romania because we held the chairmanship of this organization, the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, in 2001.
Okay.
So I contributed to that presidency, to that chairmanship, and then in 2002, I went to my first foreign appointment.
Okay. Now, your last posting before you were here in Jakarta in Indonesia was Lithuania.
Yeah.
Now, I can only imagine the differences, quite extreme even, in weather condition between Lithuania and in Jakarta. I mean, you've lived here since 2021, so 4 years or more have passed.
Yeah.
How have you accustomed to the way of living with the weather condition, with everything that you have here in Jakarta, Indonesia as ambassador?
So probably, I guess, our mindset, I mean, the mindset of diplomats is just to adapt to any conditions we have. So we are not afraid of embracing other climates or other cultures.
It's
or
a bit of a militaristic characteristic as well,
something
right?
like
to
that,
adapt
because
in whatever.
we are deployed.
Yes.
So my first posting, as I was about to say, was in the Czech Republic, in Prague.
Yes.
That was in 2002 when I joined that embassy. And then after 10 years, I went to Lithuania, which was my second posting. I was accredited in Lithuania and Latvia.
Ah, okay.
So these are two small countries in the Baltic area. They are called also Baltic countries. And as you rightly mentioned, they are quite different from Indonesia in many aspects. The climate is very cold. During the winter, we had to endure about -20 degrees.
-20?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But you know, people in the north, they have a saying. They say, it's not the weather too cold, but the clothes are not appropriate.
Oh my God, what would you wear in -20 though?
Something thick. And some hat.
Yeah, so from that to a tropical country.
From that, I went back to Romania from Lithuania and Latvia for 1 year. So that was in the middle because Romania.
It's not as cold as Latvia.
No. And actually, in the summer, we have even more degrees than here because in Bucharest, we very often touch 40 degrees.
Really? Oh, that's
so it's
interesting.
quite hot.
Okay,
It's
I did
quite
not
hot.
know that. Okay.
And then, as you mentioned, I came here in Indonesia with a tropical climate, no more winter, which is nice, I think.
Yeah, a lot of sun, but also a lot of rain. The tropical coin.
Yeah, but to be frank, I was afraid it will be more rain during the rainy season.
Yeah.
I was thinking of non-stop rain.
Yeah, wasn't that bad.
No,
basically.
no.
Okay.
It's like Romania in July.
Oh,
because we have this kind of rain as you have in the rainy season.
Okay, so you didn't have any obstacles in adapting, basically what you're saying. You adapted just nicely. Now, I want to know more actually about how you passed the time. I mean, I understand as an ambassador you must have a really tight schedule, but you mentioned earlier one of your hobbies in your early years was forest walking. Now, what do you do here to, decompress from your duties as ambassador?
Well, even here I found the forest. I was in Sumatra, and I wanted to see the famous orangutans. So I just went there and walked, and I was lucky enough to see these wonderful animals.
Okay.
But otherwise, of course, I have many activities here. Apart from my program at the embassy, we have many meetings in the diplomatic corps or with Indonesian institutions, and when I am free, my favorite pastime activities, let's say, are going to the movie.
Oh, okay.
I play tennis here also.
Nice.
I have a bicycle and I do some sport.
Okay.
Also swimming and so on.
Do you ride your bicycles around the area here?
Around my neighborhood.
Oh,
I stay in southern Jakarta, and it's a quite good neighborhood.
That's nice,
and
yeah.
I can do some cycling.
Okay, that's good to know that you're enjoying your life here day to day in Jakarta, Indonesia. But if I can touch upon one sensitive aspect of being an ambassador, usually it's balancing between your duties as ambassador and your family life.
Yeah.
How do you do it here, Mr. Ambassador? Do you have your family living here with you, or are they living somewhere else? How's the arrangement?
Yes, I have my family, meaning my wife and my son.
Okay.
My son, he's 14. He's attending the French school here in Jakarta, because before he was also attending the French school in Lithuania. My daughter, she was here with me 2 years ago, but now she's in Amsterdam. She's a student there. She's studying psychology.
Okay.
But indeed, the activity of an ambassador is sometimes quite hectic or quite busy. So you have to find a balance between work and family. Okay. My son is waiting for me to do different things. But there are many activities during the day, indeed, and which I have to attend.
Do you enjoy Indonesian culture, everything that Indonesia has to offer, like its food and entertainment together as a family?
Yes, I really like Indonesian culture as a whole.
Okay.
Mainly I like the cultural diversity of Indonesia because, as everybody knows, you have lots of ethnicities, you have lots of languages, if I'm not mistaken, more than 700.
Yes.
Which is amazing because many Indonesians, they speak not only Indonesian, but also their native language.
Yeah, regional dialect, regional language,
and sometimes even the language of the spouse. So to speak 2 or 3 languages here, it's quite usual.
Yeah.
Plus English language.
That's true.
So from that point of view, it's really amazing for me to see. I like Indonesian food. My favorite dish, to be frank, is rendang.
Really?
Yeah.
You can handle the spiciness?
Well, I can, because in Romania we also eat spicy.
Oh,
not as spicy as here, but...
yeah, okay.
And I give you an example, maybe it's a little funny, because I was at a restaurant and the waiter asked me, how spicy do you want the food from 1 to 10?
Oh, okay.
And I was cautious, and I said 2. And that 2 was much hotter than...
Imagine if you said 5.
So next time I will say 1.
Yeah.
1 which is like in Romania.
Yeah. We want to be accommodating as much as possible for people trying out our food. Now, Mr. Ambassador, it's really heartwarming to hear how you're enjoying the culture of Indonesia. But of course, me as a representative of the Indonesian people here talking to you, I would also love to learn more about Romanian culture and also about the food of Romania. So maybe we can talk about that in the next segment, right after this short break, Mr. Ambassador. Don't go anywhere, Ambassador Corner. We'll be right back right after the short messages. Thank you for staying with us right here on Ambassador Corner on TV RI World. This is our last segment for today's special edition with my very special guest, the Ambassador of Romania to Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Dan Adrian Balanescu. Mr. Ambassador, we are now seated in this beautiful table and I have the most amazing looking food in front of me. I'm sorry that the viewers cannot smell it, but it smells amazing in here. I cannot wait to try out this very gorgeous looking Romanian dishes. But before that, allow me to ask questions about Romanian culture, because as an Indonesian, I'm embarrassed to say my knowledge of Romanian culture is really limited. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the knowledge extended as far as knowing about Count Dracula and his castle in Transylvania. And I'm going to be honest again, before I came here, I kind of hesitated to ask you about this character. I mean, would it be ignorant to ask him about Count Dracula? But then I came to this room and then I saw this depiction right here in this room. I have to ask then, Mr. Ambassador, if you don't mind,
please.
Prince Dracula. Please tell us more and set the record straight. Who is Prince Dracula actually?
As you know, Romania is a country of vampires. We have them in Transylvania, and Prince Dracula, as we have it here, is one of them.
Okay.
But actually, this is a legend written by the famous Irish writer Bram Stoker,
Yes.
with his famous novel Dracula. And he was inspired by, as you said very rightly, a Romanian prince.
Okay.
The name of the prince, the actual name of the prince was Vlad the Impaler.
Vlad Impaler.
Vlad the Impaler. The Impaler because he used to impale lawless people.
Oh, wow.
So he was very just, but at the same very harsh.
Okay.
Very tough on
Yeah.
people who broke the law. He lived in the 18th century in
Okay.
our historical province of Wallachia.
Okay.
And at that time, we had a lot of fights with the Ottoman Empire.
Okay.
They were coming in several invasions to our country, and this Prince Vlad the Impaler,
Okay.
the one who inspired the Dracula character,
Yes.
he stood up and fought the Ottomans.
Wow.
And he used to impale the prisoners
Wow,
so
still,
that
yeah.
they will be scared and not come back to our country.
Seems like impaling is his hobby back then, yeah? Like what he's known for.
Yes, he was, as I mentioned, he was loving the justice, but he imposed it with very tough meanings,
I see.
very tough means. And the Bram Stoker, the writer, he heard about this legend
Yeah.
or this historical reality of Prince Vlad the Impaler and his fights with the Ottoman Empire, but he also heard about the legend surrounding popular traditions in Transylvania,
Oh.
which are with vampires, with
Okay.
other characters like morons or different kind of stuff.
Okay.
And he blended all of them and came up with this famous novel, Dracula.
Bram Stoker's Dracula, as we know it.
Exactly, with many movies.
Yes. With Gary Oldman starring as
Yeah,
Count
yeah,
Dracula.
yeah.
And also Nosferatu, the last movie,
The-
really
the-
well
the
made.
recent one.
It was also shot in Romania.
It
Right.
was shot in Romania. Romanian is spoken
Yes.
during the movie.
Extensively for the first part of the movie,
Yes.
right?
And some of our castles, which is called the Corvin Castle,
Okay.
is the scenery for a part of the movie.
Oh, wow.
But the main castle, which is associated with Dracula,
Okay.
I mean with this character, is the Bran Castle in the county of Brașov,
Okay.
which is also known as the Dracula Castle, as tourists put it.
Okay, now please tell us more. As a fan of Gothic culture, it's always been a dream of me to visit Romania, Bucharest, and also the Dracula Castle. Now, what would be the best time to visit there? And are there
Yeah.
any tips from you, Mr. Ambassador,
Yeah.
for any Indonesian tourists who want to try out to venture into Romania to
Yeah.
see the beauty and culture of it?
So yes, thank you for the question, because I take this opportunity to just invite Indonesian viewers and Indonesian tourists to come to Romania.
Yeah.
They have many places to see. They can start with Bucharest, our capital, which is a very nice capital blending different architectural styles like Art Nouveau, but also Baroque.
Yeah.
We have a very beautiful old town in Bucharest, which is
Yeah.
worth visiting. We have the biggest or the second biggest building in the world, which is the Palace of the Parliament.
Oh, okay.
So they can really enjoy. We have beautiful restaurants, very nice restaurants with Romanian food, like the famous the cart with a beer.
Yeah.
And from Bucharest, they can start their journey into Romania. They can go to our medieval city of Brașov, which
Okay.
is really in the heart of Transylvania,
Oh,
the
interesting.
historical Romanian province of Transylvania.
Okay.
And from Brașov, they can visit many castles. One of the most beautiful castles is called Peleș Castle. This is in the mountain resort city of Sinaia.
All right.
It was built in the 18th century, and if they go more to the north, they can go to the Bran Castle
Okay.
in the town of Bran, the same name, which is more or less associated with the legend of Dracula. So it is also called Dracula Castle, the Bran Castle in Romania. and they can visit the owners of the Bran Castle. They organize all kinds of tours. They have a special package for the Halloween. So if they want to be really scared, they should come during the Halloween. But you asked about the best time. Probably it is during spring and autumn. So like now, it's just wonderful.
Weather is nice.
It's not too cold.
It's not too hot
because
either.
in the winter, especially in that region of Brasov, it's a mountain region. So we can have minus, I don't know how many degrees. And it's not hot like in the summer when we have more than 30. In Bucharest, even 40 degrees. So now is just a perfect time to visit Romania, spring and autumn.
All right, Mr. Ambassador, I think you just set up my itinerary for my visit to Romania, and I'm sure our viewers have taken also notes on all the spots that you mentioned earlier. And I'm sure we're all very excited to learn about the Romanian culture as well, which I understand is actually a rich tapestry woven by historical traditions, vibrant cultures, and also values that I think is very similar to the values we hold dear in Indonesia, like family and community. I'm not that mistaken, Mr. Ambassador?
Yes, indeed. There are many similarities, even though our countries are very far away. I think we place a lot of importance on traditional values like family, community, enjoying a meal together, and so on. You rightly mentioned some of our crafts, some of our traditional arts, which is like embroidery. Like you have batik here in Indonesia, which is beautiful. In Romania, we have a traditional embroidered blouse called ie. Ie. It's a blouse made of linen, white, and it also was the inspiration of many global fashion houses. So if you're looking, you can find fashion shows featuring our ie, it is called.
Interesting. As a fashion enthusiast, I would definitely look that up. Now, you mentioned the love of family values, the love of community gatherings, and also the love of food is the one thing we have in common as well, Mr. Ambassador. Now, having said that, of course, now we have to go over to the food that's being presented in front of us. Now, please tell us about the dishes we're about to try.
Actually, this is very close to a Romanian Easter traditional meal. Because as you know, on Saturday we will celebrate Easter, and we have two specific dishes that Romanians eat during Easter. One of these is practically the iconic Romanian dish, which is called in Romanian sarmale, meaning stuffed cabbage rolls.
Oh, there's a cabbage,
It comes from the Middle East or the Ottoman Empire influence. I think there it was called sarma, and from there we took it sarmale and just adapted it to our taste.
Adjusted a little bit.
Adjusted it to our taste. And now we have it like this, as you see. As I mentioned, stuffed cabbage leaves. Generally in Romania we use fermented or pickled cabbage. So a little sour cabbage. And we fill it with minced meat. It can be pork, it can be beef, or like we have it here, it's a blend between beef and chicken.
I see. So whatever available, quite flexible.
Whatever is available, just to mix it well, to blend it with rice, with spices, and practically each household has its own recipe, which is passed down through generations, from the grandmother to the granddaughter and so on. We also have a version with the vine leaves, especially in the spring when the vine leaves are fresh. And we eat it as you see. This is one possibility to eat it with sour cream and with bread. Sometimes we use polenta, which is very similar to the Italian polenta. It's made out of cornmeal.
But this is sourdough bread, right?
This is bread. It's a little, it's homemade bread. And this is the typical Romanian Easter meal.
All right.
And generally the family come together and cooperate while doing this sarmale dish.
Okay, sounds amazing. Now this is my first time ever enjoying a sarmale dish. It's being documented, so that's great, but I have no idea how to actually enjoy it. So if you be so kind to show me first, how do you enjoy a sarmale dish? What do you do first?
And just you can use your
Whatever,
imagination,
yeah.
but generally we use a fork,
Okay.
and if you want you can also use a knife,
Okay.
just to cut the sarmale.
This part here, right?
Yes, and combine with sour cream.
Okay.
So just put a little sour cream
Okay.
on them,
Yeah, let me.
and then you can enjoy it.
The aroma is amazing. I mean, I can truly smell the seasoning.
I hope you enjoy it.
That's good.
So this is the Romanian taste.
Yum. I think I need to hold back a little bit.
For the bread, you can use your hand.
Okay. This is really good. I mean, you got the tanginess from the pickled cabbage, and then also the savory and warmth of the seasoned minced meat. It's really good. And then combine it with the sour cream, you also get some freshness in it. It's like a complete meal.
Yes, it's quite complex.
Okay.
And probably this combination makes it at one time hearty, but at the same time fresh because of the cabbage and because
That's
of the
true.
sour cream.
Now, how about this thing we have here, Mr. Ambassador? Is this
This
like
is
a dip for?
This is a very typical Romanian food. It is called eggplant salad.
Oh, from
It
eggplant.
also, if I'm not mistaken, has the origin somewhere in the east, maybe India, but probably we took it from the Byzantine Empire.
Okay.
And you can have it at all meals. But typically it is consumed during late summer and early autumn.
Oh, okay.
So somehow it symbolizes the passing between these two seasons.
Okay.
So what happens in Romania, families come together. Generally they prepare it outside from the aubergine eggplant. And they either roast it directly in the fire or grill it.
Okay.
And it is typical in Romania at the end of the summer, as I mentioned, when you go through neighborhoods to feel the smell of this eggplant
Okay.
being roasted
Yeah.
on the fire. And this smell in the minds of Romanians
Yeah.
symbolizes the end of the summer
I see.
and coming of the autumn.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's see
Please.
how, taste.
Also
how-
with you can put it on the bread.
Okay, I want to taste it first like this.
And we eat it with tomatoes, as you see here. You can combine it.
It's surprisingly flavorful. Like there's a lot of flavor profiles in there. Oh, with the tomatoes, it's really good. Okay, now let's try it with the bread. As you can see, Mr. Ambassador, I am quite the foodie, so yeah, excuse my outburst of glee when enjoying the food here.
So I'm not an expert at cooking it, but I can tell you, so it's made of eggplant with oil. Generally in Romania we use sunflower oil.
Okay.
It has some onion, maybe not
Yeah, I can taste the onions.
not too much.
Not too
but
much though. It's
just
just right.
just perfect. And then the cooks include different ingredients. You can add some lemon zest or maybe some vinegar.
Yeah.
You can have some mayonnaise. I
Okay.
think this one has a little bit of mayonnaise. And some also use mustard.
Okay. This one is really good. It's really nice with the bread. It's complements each other perfectly. All right, now we've tasted this part. I will finish this later because right now I really would like to try this beautiful. Is it a bread? Is it a cake? I'm not sure, so I need to ask you. Please tell us more about this particular dish.
I think this could be called the crown of the Romanian
Yes.
cuisine. In Romanian it is called cozonac.
Cozonac. Okay.
It's very difficult to translate it because it's a typical Romanian word, but more or less we can say sweet bread.
Okay.
But doesn't exactly put a finger on it. I mean, it's too
Very particular.
too little to say sweet bread.
Okay, okay.
Because it's actually quite complex and the families who are cooking it spend a lot of time doing. It is also a dessert which is cooked during our holidays, during Christmas or during Easter.
Okay.
And uses the bread dough plus different ingredients. You can use nuts, you can use raisins, you can use Turkish delight or cocoa, different combinations. It has a Mediterranean origin. Somehow it is similar to the Italian panettone, if you know. Bulgarians, they also have something very similar, which is called kozunak.
Okay.
Our is called kozonak, and the Bulgarian kozunak.
Okay.
And the Greeks also have
their
this
version
kind
of it.
their version. It's around the Mediterranean region.
Okay.
And it's a very typical dessert to have it during the holidays together with the family. So it is not something we are doing every day, but mostly for the holidays.
All right,
So
then.
please enjoy.
Let's have our dessert then, Mr. Ambassador. Should I just
Please
take it
just
like
take
that?
it with the hand. Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, that's beautiful. We have something that looks quite similar but completely different in Indonesia, and at first it reminded me of that. It's called marble cake, but as I can see closer, it's different. It's something that is also for the first time ever I'll be tasting now. Let me just try it. That's wonderful. You've got some crunch, but also something that is
From the
fluffy and moist as well from the bread. Oh, this should be like a real favorite with Indonesians. You should promote this, Mr. Ambassador.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Hold some events, serve this, everybody will be happy.
This is the first one we are promoting.
All right, Mr. Ambassador, this has been such a wonderful chat, a wonderful moment to learn more about Romania from you. And as much as I want to learn even more, to talk about even more topics, but due to time constraints, we need to conclude our conversations. So at the end of the conversation, remember how we began, we talked about the present day of the relations. Now my last question to you is, how do you see the future of our relations? In 5 to 10 years, what do you think will be the key areas where we can even strengthen the relations to truly cement our ties?
As you put it, I see it continuing strengthening our relations because actually we have many common interests. We have the interest of strengthening our bilateral trade. We have the interest of strengthening our bilateral cultural or educational relations, and I can tell you that many Indonesian young people, they go to Romania to study or to learn Romanian or just to discover the region. I use also this opportunity to tell you that we have opened last year a Romanian lectureship of Romanian language, culture and civilization at the University of Indonesia. So people who want to learn about our language, culture or civilization, they can join this lectureship.
All right, that's very encouraging to hear. Once again, thank you so much, Mr. Ambassador, for sharing with us your time, your insights, your beautiful space, and also the food. Thank you so much, and all the best for promoting even stronger ties between Indonesia and Romania.
Thank you very much.
Ambassador.
Thank you for coming.
And thank you for joining us for this edition of Ambassador Corner. We'll see you at the next one. Until then, take care.